Who owns this damn bed, buddy? I'm trying to get my feet down here. You sit on my foot. I saw, well, I've done something that I've done quite often before, involving the wood heater, involving fire as such. It's a little trick that I should do and try and get the video to go viral, because it's very fascinating. Unless you really truly understand fire, you wouldn't know. You probably wouldn't quite understand how I've even got it to work when you see this trick. I don't know of anybody else who has ever done this stuff. I've never seen it be done by anybody else. I've never seen them even talk about it. Real smart cookies might know how to do it, but one day I should do it. I've got it to happen again tonight. And I probably should make a video of it. It's one of these things that you sort of got to have a camera on hand to be able to show it happening, because it doesn't happen every night, but happens sometimes. There is another little thing I discovered by accident involving it. Like, I had a theory, and I thought the theory is probably bullshit. It is probably not realistic. With my experience of another little experiment that I tried and failed at, I assumed this idea would also fail, and by accident I find out only a few weeks ago that this idea would actually work perfectly, because it did actually work accidentally. And it is also involving, shall we say, a wood heater and power generation, but not Peltier style, Seebeck effect, thermoelectric generator style. I couldn't actually believe it that it was doing it accidentally, but that may be a project that I will most likely show next winter, because we're sort of getting late into winter now, and I would like to, now that it's sort of accidentally proven itself in the later parts of winter, I would like to optimize certain things to make it actually work successfully, not half-heartedly. So that may be a project for next winter. I've got another very intriguing project one day I shall do. Some of you have, I'll let the secret out of the bag. You may have seen those machines that extract water out of the air. Very fancy. They're effectively a dehumidifier running from a wind turbine or directly from electricity. Hell, they make them down in the capital, and they cost you only $5,000 for what is effectively a water filter on a air conditioner would do the same thing, you know. On the, you know how air conditioners, you walk past them and they're usually dripping water. Well, that's pretty much exactly what it's doing, but instead of having a shitty aluminium condenser or evaporator, actually it's the evaporator, with a little drip tray underneath it, they have a nice clean stainless steel one with a drip tray underneath it, and then you drink that water. I have found other bizarre things in which I may be able to make one that is maybe only works in a higher humidity environment, but is a lot more efficient and multi-fueled, and that will be one project one of these years, so I've let that one out the bag. The project this time around, I didn't think initially it was possible to do it. I've since done the maths, and as I have said previously, once I'd done the maths, I realised, yes, it was actually possible to do it. quite possible indeed. The information I need, the data to do this maths, has actually come from a former NASA astronaut who wrote a book. No, I don't know any NASA astronauts, but that doesn't stop me from finding out about books they wrote and getting information out of those books. I have since looked in a bit more deeply. Not super deep, I've got to dig in deeper, but I've looked in a little bit more detail to NASA's involvement in, shall we say, this technology and this thing I'm trying to do. Yes, they achieved it very successfully, but I'm only one friggin' hillbilly out in off-grid Australia. I picked up some ideas from the way NASA has done it, ones that I didn't work out myself, but they only done this shit in the 60s, and as you know, the 60s wasn't quite as high-tech as it is today, and, well, I think I might be able to do it a little bit better. I saw that one, it'd work, but I don't think it's really that efficient at all. I think I could make it a lot more efficient. It's a good concept, I'll admit. The way they've done it, it's a workable concept, but it just doesn't hold the efficiency that I'd want to have in it. Because as you know, the more efficient, the more realistic it is to achieve this thing. This is solar powered. The weight of the solar panels was going to really be an issue until I have found that semi-flexible solar panels are something like only 12 or 13% the weight of standard solar panels. All of a sudden, not only did the maths add up, but all of a sudden the weight was realistic for me to be able to achieve this project. Without semi-flexible solar panels, this project would not be achievable because it would just simply be too heavy. Yeah. I suppose I should tell you I'm not building a solar-powered aircraft. Other than that, I think I've said enough about that project, and you will see what it is when it happens. I've got to work on getting a few cats off my feet here so I can actually get in my bed, and they're going to sleep, haven't they, pussy? Almost.